Hello! It is Monday, June 8th, McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk. I am Patrick McAfee, sitting to my left in front of a bookshelf, Mr. A.J. Hawk. Oh! Yeah! Woo! A.J. Hawk! A.J. Hawk! A.J. Hawk! A.J. Hawk! Hawk, AJ Hawk.
What's up, man? You look tan. Have you been working out outside again?
Thank you. I have been outside. I hit the pool up a little bit. This weekend, I actually shit out everything that was in my body. So I had like a 4-pack this morning when I woke up. It was very nice. I'm feeling good. I'm almost to the AJ Hawk level of fitness. Nowhere near it, but I'm trying my absolute best. How was your weekend, sir?
Oh, my weekend was good. We had nice weather here. We've gotten somewhat back to normal. My son's had some baseball games. So, yeah, it's starting to feel like we're getting back on track.
How was the baseball game? Because it feels like the MLB probably not going to happen, but the fact that your kids are playing, how was the game? Was it nice to see any good pop times or anything like that?
That was a good game. He's played twice now. They've gotten blasted both games.
Oh, no.
Why do you kids stink? Little Mike Hawk stinks at baseball, huh?
Who?
Mike Hawk?
They took on a couple teams where I knew in warm-ups. I texted my wife. She wasn't there yet. I was like, uh-oh, this is going to be a bloodbath. Just because I could see how the other team's coaches were acting and how they were warming up. And I was right both times. They were both bloodbaths.
There were some teams that came off the bus that we played against. When I was at West Virginia, the first time I remember thinking, oh, no. Maryland? We played against Maryland, and they had this whole new Under Armour layout, and they were literally 1.5 feet taller than every single player that we had. That was the first time in my life I looked on it may be Upper St. Clair, my final football game at Plum High School. I looked at Upper St. Clair High School warm up, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a rough one. Sean Lee was on that team. There were some other people. They won by 50 or something like that. We didn't even get past half field there for me to do anything in that game. But that Maryland game, I look at them before the game, I'm like, holy shit. But then we end up winning. So it kind of debunked the theory in my head. But then when you get to the NFL, there's some teams that show up, you're like, oh, the people that are scouting for that team and creating that team, they like big motherfuckers. Because there was the Dallas Cowboys, I think. We played against the Cowboys, and their offensive line was warming up, and they just like kind of jogged by where our guys were. And I was like, oh, man, that is a different level of human there. That is for you. I never had to hit these people, ever. I knew that whatever I was doing, no matter how big they were coming off the bus, no matter how fast they were, I didn't have to deal with any of that. You, though, is there ever a game where you got there and you looked and you're like, everybody on their team is at least 6'4" at this point. What is the deal?
I definitely had situations like that, and I thought of the Dallas Cowboys, and I thought of their D-line. I remember their D-line at one point. It was like every guy was 6'7" and above, I feel like, back in – around 2010 or before then, they had so many D linemen that were monsters and so good. Obviously, their offensive line is always really good and really big. But I mean, everybody I played against is bigger than me, so that didn't really change my outcome.
That boy, AJ. Isn't it like Wisconsin or Nebraska? Who normally has that massive offensive line? Wisconsin. Was that something?
Nebraska back in the day, like they were the most like physical, like intimidating team there was. That's what Scott Frost is trying to get him back to.
Is there anything that you look at whenever you look at an offensive line and you go, damn, the smallest guy is 6'3", 350. Is there any, do you even take that into account, or are you just strictly watching how they play and things of that nature?
I mean, it really only matters how they play. The guys, I think I've said it on here before, like especially the interior offensive linemen, the toughest ones for me to go against were always the shorter stature guys that had a wrestling background. Like they were always at the second level in the blink of an eye, and they were latching onto you, and if they got a hold of you, you were done.
Is that why AQ Shipley was such a problem for AJ Hawk?
AQ can move, man. He's got good feet. He's got great hands.
He used to look like the Michelin Man too. He had that, you know what I mean? He had that gut on him, and he would use that because he had to have a little bit of girth because he wasn't as tall as everybody else. But he had such good feet. The guy is a Hall of Famer for his high school basketball ability in the paint. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer because of his basketball abilities. AQ could move there, but that I think is the classic guy that was nimble, understood leverage good enough too. That whole thing. There's two different styles of moving humans. And I would always, whenever I would have to battle against somebody who was always a little bit bigger than me, and I would have to cobra strike them and then shed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're shock and shed. You may have the best shock and shed of any punter that has ever been in the NFL.
I'm okay with saying that. I think that is. I think film would prove that what you just said right there was accurate. I have done that on more than one occasion. Okay, so has any other punter done that on more than one occasion? I don't think so.
No. Yes, I'm sure they've had to.
You think they've successfully done that?
Was it Huber who got kicked? Got jump kicked?
No, that was Cleveland's punter. His name was
Spencer.
Someone
with an L, I think.
I remember him. That was a bad day for the brand, by the way. Bad.
Was that AB who jump kicked him?
Yeah.
Spencer Lanning.
It is Spencer Lanning. Good punter, by the way, from South Carolina, I think, if I'm accurate. I don't know. He was a good punter, but that was a bad day for the brand. I mean, no flag was called either. Like, it wasn't even, the refs looked at it.
What are you going to call?
Well, fucking, how about a little bit of misconduct on some unsportsmanship? How about something? The guy just stomped on the face of another man. I mean, now granted, the fact that Spencer didn't do a little bit of a, somehow, some way, maybe make the tackle out of it. I mean, that's just a rough day for the brand. The fact that we're even showing this right now is very upsetting. It was a problem. And for me, I later in the year sent said image to Antonio Brown on Twitter telling him that my family will be at the game, so none of this shit, okay, please. And he responded, I got you, or whatever, which was very nice of him. And then he shook me. And he didn't step on my face. So that was very, very nice of him.
I guess it would. They're both embarrassing to happen to you. I mean, it happens to everybody, but I guess I would rather be juked than just kicked directly in my Adam's apple.
Yes. Yeah, you would rather have the image of you on the ground like, oh no, as opposed to the, just eating it. You know what I mean?
When you had him one-on-one with 53 and whatever fraction yards.
A third, yeah. Football.
Yep. Did that cross your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. He every single time I would try to butter up the returner before the game, warm-ups. And by butter up, I just want to talk to them, I want to let them know that they're the best returner I've ever seen. And I think more people should see your film because it's the little things that you do that don't get noticed. Can you leave this particular move at home this weekend, boss? At Antonio Brown, 84, obviously. Yeah. Spencer Lanning, I'll talk to him pretty bad. And then there's Antonio about homecoming for PMAC. Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of things that unfolded there. But I would always talk to the returner before the game because when you punt in warm-ups, you're punting one direction, the other punter normally punting the other direction. If you get there early enough, though, you could see if a punter wants to line up directly next to the other punter and just give a little bit of a hey, let's do a little ball check here, cuz, you know what I mean? Every once in a while, I saw Cyphers did this to me whenever I was young.
He was checking to see if the ball was deflated or whatever?
No. He was just standing next to me, and then I would punt a ball, and then just as that one was perfectly landing, he would launch one into fucking orbit, and then I would have to look at that, and then he would stand there, and then I had to punt, and then he would do it again, and I was like, oh, he's fucking with me right now. Like, that is exactly what he's doing. Let's go to the other side. Then he would follow you down. You know what I mean? So I put that into my bag of tricks once I learned how to kick a ball later. You know what I mean? If there's a guy who potentially is on his way up, I would like to see what happens here. Let's stand right next to each other. Leckler and I did this one Thursday night game. It was quite a moment, actually. Very cool moment between me and Leckler. But normally, other than those moments there where you're just bombing balls next to each other, you're punting opposite way. So the returner would be around me. Heads up, ball coming in, I would have to watch. They'd catch a ball right in front of me. They'd throw it back. And that's when I would start. That's when I would, good grab. I would have dropped that one. Wow. It was so good. You know what I mean? Like, just, thanks. And then some people would catch on to my game. You know what I mean? They knew, Julian Edelman, for instance, was the first one who was not about having a fucking conversation with me on the field at all. He was standing less than a foot away from me for probably 4 or 5 punts or whatever. He caught him like, damn, little white guy's out here crushing it, man. Like, you're so good. Didn't even crack a smile, okay? Didn't even move. Didn't even talk to me. He took one back to the house, and then I had to tackle him on the next one. And then the next game, we had a chance to conversate. But I always wanted to let him know, like, hey, if we get in the open field, congratulations, you've done your job. You're really good. Just shake the shit out of me. Don't don't run me over. Like, I need not be run over. Just shake me. It'll be easy. It'll be good for both of us. Just don't run me over. Josh Cribbs, I had that conversation with him. He returns a kickoff down the sideline, and he tries to get to the edge or whatever. I tackle him. And if you see after the tackle, he stands up, looks me in my face, and taps me on the helmet. And he said, I should have tried to run you over. And I was like, I'm thankful you did it, pal. And then my teammates all come running in. So I was always politicking not to get my face stepped on, which I think Spencer should have done. And also all the other punters from this point forward should also be pitching, because that's a bad day for the brand when a returner ends up on top of the punter. That's just not good.
Especially in the age of social media, like the amount of attention that it gets. But I'm curious, when you would stand next to punters and try to intimidate the guy, by bombing punts next to him to let him know, like, hey, I'm going to be doing this all day. I've been doing it in the league for a long time.
Yeah,
but
welcome to the league.
Hey, pal. Hey, my first rodeo, pal.
Hey, pal. Welcome to the fucking men's club. Okay, bub. Welcome to the men's club, buddy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Did you ever tire yourself out by trying to intimidate a guy pregame?
No, I kicked so much. Tom Telesco, now the general manager of the Chargers, he said the reason he was the one that found me in the Meineke Car Care Bowl warm-up. He said that he told Bill Polian, because they were there to look at Hakeem Nicks. I would assume Pat White. I forget who else was there for us, but there was a lot of big-name players. He was there scouting. He got there early, watched my warm-up. And he told Bill Polian that he didn't know if I was a punter or not, but there was a guy that kicked for like an hour and a half before the game and then kicked the entire thing. And that's just, I was always a high rep guy. I needed a lot of volume. Now, granted, did that end up hurting me? Absolutely. But I was always, I like to see the ball fly. I like to see the ball go. You know what I mean?
Inside the stadium, you want to see what it looks like in the stadium, right?
Everywhere. If it's a ball, I want to see that thing fucking fly. And I would much rather have the wind at my back, too. I understand that with the wind in your face, if it wasn't for the wind in my face, I wouldn't be able to fly. That's like the comment people make or whatever.
First off, who makes that comment other than a pilot?
Well, they use it in punting, too. They say because if you punt into the wind, it's more likely to turn over and it'll hold it up and shit like that. I'm like, well, give me the wind in my back. I'll fly a lot fucking faster. You know what I mean? Just put that wind in my back and let's go. But I was a big, confidence guy. Let's see this thing. Let's give these people a show. So I never would wear myself out. A lot of, there's some teams that do tackling drills before the game. They do like real live hitting and stuff.
High school or NFL?
NFL, you'll see those guys on the sideline. They do the thud drill or whatever, and then some go harder.
Linebackers always most defensive positions will absolutely do some kind of form tackle drill, and I guess it depends on your position coach on how intense that initial tackle drill is.
Do you need that? People say that they need.
I never needed that.
Never.
All I would do is try to time it up so I would be tackling. Like, first off, you got to be the guy getting tackled, so you got to fake like you're carrying a ball in your hand and run at an angle, and they're going to try just to work on like a thud angle tackle. The problem is some guys, especially young guys, get really juiced up in warm-ups 90 minutes before the game, and they're going to really pop you in the chin or something. And I'm like nothing made me more mad than when I would get caught in the jaw or something during a tackle drill before. This is pre-game. It's not even, we haven't even done our team period yet in warm-ups. And so I knew who to stay away from, but it always seemed to happen a couple of times throughout the year where I would just get blasted in the head by a guy, and he'd have no awareness. And I couldn't even blame him, really. I'm like, I get it. Like, you're excited. Okay, cool.
But I would feel like if I'm going against AJ, our starting Mike linebacker, maybe I shouldn't give him a pop in that massive. Now, granted, he's probably trying to hit you in the chest, but that jaw of yours is fucking hanging down
10
there.
feet.
I don't know what you want from the guy, but aren't you supposed to run and jump? Isn't like the classic move, run, jump, give them something to hit, and then it looks good too because they lift you up. You were like, I ain't fucking jumping here, okay? Let's get this done with. Was that what you did?
That's what I would try to do, and they would always want to drive their feet sometimes. They're like, all right, man, just get a quick pop and wrap it. Let's just keep it moving. Let's get to ball drills. I want to catch some balls. I don't need to bang my head in warm-ups and waste any of these shots I need for the game.
I've heard players say, though, they need that first big hit to like.
In the game. In the game, it does feel good to get like a nice shot, even a good stalemate with a guy with a fullback or someone early on to kind of settle you in and make you feel good for the game. In warm-ups, I never needed that. Some guys definitely do need that in warm-ups, and they want it. I was never that guy.
Me neither. I was okay not taking any hits.
You didn't do any tackle drills?
No, but my first ball, I always wanted to have the opening kickoff, though.
Why, so you get on TV more?
That's definitely a benefit of it. But for me, I just wanted to see me hit a ball. I wanted to see the ball. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to see the ball go. If my first one, it was always an interesting thing. I would assume you could compare it to like a middle relief pitcher or something like that, who has to come in and maybe there's 3 people on base or whatever, and it's like a terrible situation, but you got to be ready to go. For me, if I'm asked to go out there and the first time I'm touching the ball in the game is either like a backed up, you're on like the back of the end zone, or you got to pooch it like 41 yards. Like, I would always like to at least see the ball fly one time before the game. So the opening kickoff, I was a big fan of, but it's not good for strategery in the game to have the opening kickoff. So there was one year where we had a terrible coin flip caller. I forget who it was. They were just bad. I don't know how you get so unlucky. We had opening kickoffs basically every single game. And it was like, I had like my best year then, because it was like you just get right into it as opposed to having to run out there and be like, oh, fuck, you missed this. Probably going to be at least 3 points the other direction. You're in a bad spot.
Would you guys, when you were in Indy, did you guys defer if you won the toss?
It depended on who was playing quarterback, depending on the situation. You know what I mean? I think with Andrew, we always wanted the ball in the second half. I don't know. I never made those decisions. I always thought I should, but I never did. I always thought I shouldn't.
It usually comes from the head coach, whether you defer or you take the ball.
Now, the direction we kick in the second half, though, was a decision I was a part of.
Well, you should be.
Yeah. Well, Vinatieri was making the real decision. I was there trying to, tell him, I think we should do this because, boy, the ball's flying that way, and I don't think our offense is going to figure it out. So maybe third quarter.
You want to set it up to where you're kicking in the fourth quarter with the wind at your back?
Well, Vinny would always obviously want the wind at his back in the fourth quarter because that makes sense if it was a close game and it's a long-range field goal. But for me, if we're down, fourth quarter, not punting a lot, so I don't really give a fuck. You know what I mean? So I was always politicking. Hey, can we get the win maybe in the third quarter? Because I got a lot of incentives here, Vinny. You've been in the league a long time. There's still a lot of maybe we do that. And then the conversation was always like, probably going to be a close one though. So might need that wind in the fourth quarter maybe, so we could. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, got it. Okay, yeah, I'll kick off into this gale force fucking wind right here. You got it. And then whenever we stumble out of half, which we always do, I'll punt into this tornado. So don't you worry about it, Vinny. I'll take care of it because at the end we might have a chance. We might. Well, I'll tell you what. If I hit a 4-yard punt into this wind in the third quarter, probably gonna fuck us a little bit in the fourth quarter. Something to think about.
Hurt the chances a little bit.
If I was your head coach, Pat, and I think I would have learned early on in my head coaching career. Maybe I don't ask Pat where he wants to punt in the second half.
I would always give the full riot.
You would probably take like 2 minutes of your head coach's time when he's trying to get the ball, like he's trying to coach his professional sports team worth over $1 billion, and he's just trying to hold on to his job. And the 200 support people around him, he's trying to keep their jobs safe. And he's got to listen to you in his face explaining like the wind, how it whirls in this facility, and how everything's bad.
I'll tell you what, Chuck. I thought we wanted to go that way most of the first half, but now that I'm out here a little bit, Vinny, you might be. You agree? We should fucking go this way. I think, Vinny. Do you not? No, Vinny says no. Well, he obviously wants it in the fourth quarter, Chuck. But to be honest, I think either way is good. And then Chuck will go, well, which way are you? I'm like, you tell me. He's like, we'll go that way. Not the way I would have picked, but you got it. And I jog away. Just I didn't even think about. Chuck has so much other shit going on. Jim Caldwell's got so much other shit going on. And there I am like, well, I mean, yeah, tomato here, honestly. But the refs would ask me. So like the refs they go, Pat, which way? So it was, I mean, to be fair to me, I mean, I could have on multiple occasions made a decision strictly for me, and I did not. So
stand-up guy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Doesn't get
Good
talked about
teammate.
enough. Doesn't get
Rust Belt, stand-up guy.
Mm-hmm. The refs, though, coming out and asking me which direction, because I'm the kickoff guy. So whenever we're warming up at halftime or whatever, and the other team would come out too. The other kickers would be like, which way are you kicking? Okay, and there's because, they need to know which way to warm up as well. They would like to just know. It's a little kosher to let them know. Boy, there was a couple times where I told the other team and the ref that I didn't know. And they thought I was lying. And I was like, I literally don't know. I have no idea. And then the refs would be like, well, are we picking the direction? I was like, no, we'll pick it. And then that was when I would have to have the 4-minute conversations with Chuck and things of that nature. I mean, there's a lot that goes on people don't realize. A lot that goes on.
So much that goes on. Are you pumped? Isn't the AFL coming back?
June 11th, pal.
Yeah!
Collingwood Magpies taking on the Richmond Tigers. The only issue with this entire thing of me being a Collingwood Magpies diehard lifelong fan is that the only American that has ever had success in the AFL, Mason Cox, Mr. Coxzilla, who's 6'10", standing there on the right, he's out because he's injured.
No.
So I've been so pumped about this AFL return. And so excited about everything that could happen on June 11th because of this one man named Coxzilla. And he's injured. He will get cleared. He's just not currently cleared. And I can't wait for that game to get started. We have Coxzilla joining us, I believe, Wednesday morning.
Here we go. Let's go.
From Australia.
Wait, where is he from originally?
Texas, played college basketball at Oklahoma State. He self-admittedly sucked at basketball. Then he grew up playing soccer. He had a growth spurt, so he found out about Aussie rules football. He goes to LA for a camp, and then he gets sent over to Australia. He's been in the Collingwood team for like 5 years now or something of that nature, and he's a stud. Like, he's a good player. We don't just have an American that's over there just kind of half-assing it. He is a good player over there, and he's the first real successful American in the AFL's history. And I was excited because I think they put Collingwood versus Richmond strictly because of us being such a big Coxzilla fan as the first game, and now Coxzilla's out. So I'll still pull for the Magpies. But there's a guy named Dustin Martin on the Richmond Tigers.
Old Dusty.
He's exactly like you. Middle finger towards the referees. I mean, he's a Rust Belt kind of guy over there in Australia. We're off for a good one, June 11th, 5:30 a.m., Fox Sports 1. There's your guy, AJ.
Are you going to actually watch some golf now that it's coming back too?
PGA, the Charles Schwab Challenge in Fort Worth, Texas, starts on June 11th as well. Sports are starting to pick back up here. Let's get to it. A lot of gambling. I'll tell you who's going to win the Charles Schwab Challenge. It's going to be Phil Mickelson.
Wow.
Phil Mickelson's going to win the Charles Schwab Challenge. I don't know if Brooks Koepka, probably a lot of people's thoughts. Maybe Dustin Johnson, a lot of people's thoughts. But after losing to Tiger and Peyton, I think Phil Mickelson and his big-ass calves are going to have a little something to prove. That launches on June 11th. I'm pumped the PGA's back, pumped the AFL's back, pumped sports seem to be coming back, AJ.
Yeah, I saw our guy, Jeff Passan, talking about the Major League Baseball's newest proposal. What? How many? 78 games or something was the latest.
That wasn't the official proposal. It feels
Was this from the league or from the union?
That was from the league. So Jet Passan is our inside guy for the MLB. I did text him to come on this show right now, by the way. I texted him at 12:20 asking if he would join us because there's a lot to unfold. During our show this morning, there was like 7 different opinions being tossed out there by different insiders who were having their information shared to them by varying people. So first, Carl Ravitch came out and said, hey, the MLB is ready to propose a 75% prorated salaries, only 70 games or whatever it is. This is a step in the right direction, was his wording, the way he released it. So we were like, okay, here we go. Step in the right direction. Yeah. And then literally, as soon as we got done celebrating that baseball's going to figure it out, just like Trevor Bauer said, Bob Nightingale comes from the USA Network, elbow drop off the top. He's like, players hate this. They think it actually is a step backwards in the entire process. Now Jet Passan's coming out saying how it's going to have to happen is they're going to have to meet in the middle a little bit. It feels like the MLB and the MLBPA are still miles apart, but boy, there's a lot of noise surrounding it right now, Mr. Hawk.
Hey, so this was it Bob Nightingale? Was he from the USA Network or USA Today?
USA Today. Did I say USA Network? That's on me. Yeah, that's on me. He's also a BBW.
Where? With what?
He's a BBW.
I love my girls.
Explain what that is.
He's big baseball writers. Big baseball writer.
Okay.
He's part of the BBWAA, right?
Yeah, Baseball Writers Association of America.
So this guy knows his baseball, Mr. Nightingale. He's USA Today Network on the internet. But yeah, he was quite a negative Nance to everything we thought was happening to the MLB.
It's gonna happen though, right? Like it seems like they're gonna make something work.
I'm not sure. Jet Passan said that he feels as if what could be a possible outcome and seeming more likelier is that the owners just say, hey, here's a 48-game schedule. You're either going to do it or you're not, because this is going to save us $10 million a pop per team. We're going to lose so much money, but it won't be as much money. And basically saying you either do it or you get the hell out. And that's going to call for players like me to come scab that motherfucker.
Scab.
Yeah.
Grab it on.
Here we go.
All right now. You go ahead, get a hit now. Go ahead, get a hit.
Oh! He's gone.
Safe.
Excellent drag bunt.
Thank you. That's the thing about me going to the left side of the plate. Becoming a lefty is my drag bunt game is going to be unstoppable. Wait till fucking Trevor Power Hour or his replacement, whoever it is, catches my drag. I mean, I'm going to.
Like Ichiro.
Damn right.
It does seem very plausible that if the union and the league can't work out a deal, like within the next, let's say, 5 days, if this doesn't happen, that they're going to be able to find a way to get enough scabs like you and possibly myself. Maybe I'll play center.
Oh, you're going to play?
Oh.
To find a full league of scabs and get them all cleared, get everything good to go, especially with the COVID protocols. It seems like that is very plausible. That could happen in the next 5 to 10 days. Yeah. They can field a whole Major League Baseball, the whole league. They can fill all the rosters.
Me and the boys been taking BP downtown.
Every day.
I mean, there's an entire
Every
crew
single
of
day.
people down there taking BP. I mean,
Downtown, you got a bunch of batting cages downtown.
I don't need them whenever you're just hitting fucking dingers. Yeah. You don't need 'em.
See ya.
You know what I mean? And they don't even have the little net in front of the pitchers because they know I ain't going there. I'm going way over their heads.
Watch out, satellites.
You know what I mean?
Watch out,
I
man.
hope it happens.
You were saying that there's no chance of this happening in the next 5 to 10 days.
I mean, there's a lot of logistics, a lot of things to get figured out, a lot of people to contact and get them over there to try to field the league.
That's no fun. I thought I was on the Yankees already. I was ready to be because I'm not gonna play for the
Russell,
bum ass.
is Russ going to play?
Me and Russell Wilson
Yeah,
will be
yeah.
on the
He
New York
has to.
Yankees
Yeah,
wearing
definitely.
the pinstripes. The issue is many people would think I maybe play for the bum ass Pirates, but I ain't doing it. I'm not going to play for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I hope no scabs choose to play for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I hope the only team
Thank you.
that can't field a team is the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's what.
How do you turn on them? How do you turn on your hometown team?
I've been had that. Okay, I've been had the turn on the Pittsburgh Pirates. They stink. They don't care to win. They spit in the faces of the entire city of Pittsburgh and in Pittsburgh's incredible fanhood. Whenever they were good there, accidentally. They brought in McCutcheon, a couple other players got very good. They were like, oh, fuck, we have no. Pittsburgh packed out PNC Park. PNC Park, noted beautiful ballpark. Noted beautiful. Everybody loves it. We used to go there just because it was a nice ballpark, but everybody expected to lose. So if they even won, it was like a celebration. It was like, here we go. They finally get good at baseball. Playoff run. Place is packed out. Yinzers are coming out from everywhere, through the tunnels, out of the hills. Yinzers are like, Bucko, baseball's back. And then what do? Too good. Get fucking rid of everybody. Can't spend this much money. Even though the city loves it and wants it to be better, we can't do it. That's when the full turn happened on the Pittsburgh Pirates, because even though they stunk for 20 years and were trying to lose for 20 years, it was like, okay, you got good accidentally. Now that this is kind of just falling in your lap and we've been selling things out, let's go for it. And they just couldn't do it. So even when they accidentally succeed, they fuck it up. And that's why I hate them.
That's understandable. I grew up a Cincinnati Reds fan. I haven't jumped off the bandwagon for the Reds. I mean, I wouldn't say I watch every game, but if they're good, if they become good again, I'll tune in a little bit.
They got Trevor Bauer on that team.
We didn't turn on the Pirates, AJ. They turned on us.
See that? That's the difference.
So you're upset. You're not upset at the players. You're upset at the ownership and the people up top.
Well, the players stink too, I guess, and that's kind of the problem, is, I mean, Jason Kendall used to have pop time faster than anybody else in the MLB.
Jeez.
Now I can't even tell you one. Couldn't even tell you one player.
Felipe Vasquez.
Are you just reading the roster over there?
Yeah. More? Josh Bell.
Oh, Josh Bell.
Big bat.
Yeah.
Good
Oh, yeah.
player.
He's good.
Good.
Starling
He's
Marte.
the
Chris
guy.
Archer.
Jason Kendall,
Yeah.
bring him back.
Kevin Newman.
Bobby Bonilla, Barry Bonds.
See,
Oh,
see,
Barry.
that is so long ago. Jason Kendall was post Barry Bonds, still good. Barry Bonds and them were so long ago. Whenever they were good at
Nate
baseball.
McClough.
I hate them. But MLB and MLBPA are miles apart from becoming on an agreement. No,
I don't know if they're miles apart now.
they are.
They are.
They are. It's even worse. Whenever we thought it was getting better, the MLBPA came out and said, no, this is only worse. It's like, I don't know what either of them want. I honestly have no idea.
25% prorated share like that. That's better than what the league's original offer, though, right?
Well, the players said it was a step in the opposite direction. I don't know how or why, but this is what the players said. I think the issue is the MLB will float proposals out into public that haven't been officially offered to the players. So I think like there are some ideas that get sent out like, oh, what if we do this? And they just see what the fans think. And then if it's a good reaction, they're like, all right, bingo, let's put this on a proposal, send it over to the players. Players are now bad if they disagree with that because the fans liked it. I think that not only happens in all sports collective bargaining, but I think that's happening currently as well.
Oh, I mean, I get it. I understand. It's hard to say, like, oh, how are you going to say you're making a prorated salary and you're only getting $9 million this year or whatever? And people are saying, like, I get why you can't, like, you're not going to feel bad for those players, but at the same time, like, the players know what they're worth. They know what their contract says. They don't want it. Sure, they understand what the times we're living in, but they still want, like, a fair shake at this, and they feel like the owners are getting, like, the better of them probably right now. Who knows?
Greedy corporate fat cats.
That's right.
Yep.
Ain't that right? Ty.
Well, it seems too like the players, like obviously the money is a big deal, but they want to play as many games as possible, and the MLB is very content.
Why is that? Is that for stats and for everything else?
I think so. Yeah, I think
And
it just,
game
the money.
checks.
game checks,
the money,
right?
yeah.
And it just it impacts a lot of guys' futures. You know, I mean, if you're only playing 40 games, like I said on the radio show, you know, if you're a starting pitcher, you're only getting like 4 starts, 5 starts, and in a normal year you're getting like 30. Like that's greatly impacting the rest of your career.
And what if you start out slow? What if you start out slow and you
You're
have
fucked.
2-3 record or
Yeah.
whatever? You're completely screwed. You got no shot.
Yeah, and what if you're on a contract year too?
Oh, well, free agency. There's something going on with free agency too that's getting tossed around there, but it feels like baseball is far apart.
Man, I don't know. I figured they got to find a way to make it happen. Golf is coming back. I know they announced now too that the Memorial Tournament here in Columbus is allowed to have some fans. I don't know how many there will be, but I guess there's 4 tournaments that happen in Ohio or courses that are
Back-to-back
having some
weeks.
kind of events, and they wrote letters to DeWine, the governor, and he okayed it.
Is it in Columbus?
Yeah, Dublin, the Memorial Tournament. Now it's 2. It's back-to-back weeks. They're having they took the John Deere that got
you gotta
canceled,
rent
and
your
they're having 2 in a
house.
row.
You got to rent your house. Didn't you put that up on the market already on the show one time? You said, hey, if anybody
We
would like
talked
to
about
rent,
it, of course.
how much would that be to rent your house?
Depends who wants to rent it.
Can we rent it?
What if it's me and the boys here? We don't know.
Oh yeah, you got, 28,000 a week.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
You'll use every bedroom. Like there's gonna be a lot of laundry we're gonna have to do afterwards. Who knows the damage that you do?
No.
So you have like 12 bedrooms, right?
No,
18?
No.
It's like
you guys can
playing-
bunk up. You can share. We got bunk beds in one room. You can
Hold
share.
on. I got some negotiation here, though.
Love bunk beds.
The second tournament Sunday, the final Sunday, I would like until Tuesday to check out.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, late checkout.
Is that a part of this?
Those are the terms.
Yeah, we'll see if the numbers add up.
So
yeah, maybe.
56,000 I went for
So
16
maybe.
days. $56,000 I went 16 days.
You make it an even 80K. You can have that Tuesday checkout.
What the
and
fuck?
the fridge has
This is the
what?
MLB and the MLBPA.
We
This
got to
is-
pay cash too, and we're gonna say this is all a joke. You have to give me a duffel bag full of cash because I don't want to get taxed on it.
This is the MLB and the MLBPA. Look at you just moving the goalposts here. You said it was 28 grand a week, okay? I just asked for 2 extra days out of the goodness of your heart because we're probably going to be hungover.
Yep.
We've just done 2 weeks of golf, okay?
We're gonna play golf too.
We're going to
probably.
golf now at this point.
ton.
We're tired. We'd like to lay up for a day maybe and not be so focused on golf. We want that day plus the next day, 16 days. Your price, 28,000 a week, 56,000, 16 days.
What's the continental breakfast like?
Yeah, do we have breakfast? Do we have you have a chef there, right? Full-time chef?
Yeah, Uber Eats makes it out here, so you can order stuff every morning.
What about Chef Hawk?
We'll get your account.
I'm out of town. I would never rent it if I was going to be in town.
What do you mean? You don't want to stay with us?
It's weird. We just learned a lot.
You guys could come. I would let you guys come. I wouldn't let you come rent my house when I'm not here. But if you guys want to come bunk up with myself and my family, we'll let you do it. My wife will cook great breakfast. It'll be fun.
Anytime.
Gotta give me a couple of days notice.
All right, I'll be there
See
on
you
Friday.
Saturday.
Yeah, end of the week.
Can't wait to
Expect
see.
me.
Hey,
Get a bunk
Hold on,
ready.
Go back for a second, Pat. You said
We're here.
checkout. You want a late checkout on Tuesday instead of Sunday. and your reasoning is you're hungover, you got all this stuff. We need a day to lay up and put our feet up, pal, because a day that we're not so focused on golf, because the previous 14 days you're so focused on golf, you're just so worn out. You need an extra day.
We're gonna need to use the neighbor's pool.
This is negotiation, pal. Okay? These are the things that you don't think about because you're a greedy corporate fat cat that I'm trying to look out for me and my guys' best interest. This is negotiation.
Sign the deal.
You're a good boss. I agree. You're looking out for your guys. Like I said, $80K even in a duffel bag. It's yours.
A couple complimentary cigars for the boys too.
Oh yeah, you can have a few.
hundred.
Take some out of the humidor downstairs.
No, not the one upstairs, though, huh? That's
Not the VIP one.
I mean, what are we doing?
Those are up here for me.
Better lock them down.
Hey, we want fingerprint access into this little studio fucking area, too.
Can't get in. There's a code for this one. You can't get in here.
Well, then we'll deduct $6,000 a week then because that's part of the house.
Yeah.
So it's $22,000 all of a sudden, $44,000. We get till Tuesday. Look at this. Here we go.
Perfect.
This is negotiation, AJ. You're getting $40,000. Now you're getting $35,000 for 16 days of you just not having to use your house. Look, we're taking.
But I have to pay to stay somewhere else. Like I don't want to just have another house for free I can stay in.
Go to Jordy's.
Chopper.
Yeah.
Go to Pistols.
Yeah, go to Jordy's. Make the 13-hour drive to Kansas.
Good idea.
Would be sweet.
Then they're like, "Oh, hey, Jordy and his wife. Hey, you guys are back. What do we owe the pleasure to?" Oh, no big deal. You know, we just wanted to come hang out for 16 days because I let a group of dudes rent the house.
Plenty of space on the farm. Plenty.
Look at that.
Yeah, why don't you guys go to Jordy's?
There's not a golf tournament there.
Yeah.
Duh.
We're focused on golf.
Yeah, you guys are ultra focused on golf.
Seriously.
Right. We would also like passes to the golf tournament.
Tough with the limited passes they're giving for this tournament. It's gonna be a tough one.
No, that comes with the house.
You're a Buckeye legend.
Good luck getting
Get
them.
some passes.
The week one, the first tournament they're having too, the one that they added. There's no fans for that one, so no pass.
well,
for that.
media, what
but
about
you know,
media?
it is a good. Think of the PGA, Pat. Think what they did. The John Deere, whenever that was supposed to happen, that got canceled. So I think it's Rocket Mortgage is the sponsor. The Memorial here at Muirfield said, "Hey, come join us." So now that there's a lot of the tour pros are playing both events, so they're just staying here for 2 weeks. So it makes it much safer. They're not flying, then flying out somewhere home, then back. So they're all kind of staying here in one spot. There's no reason for them to leave if you're playing both tournaments. So it makes it safer, and you get 2 tournaments.
That's what we're trying to do. You
What?
see?
As fans of the tournament,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Journalists. That's what we're trying to do.
okay.
What if Columbus gets the NHL as well?
It's possible.
Which is possible. So Columbus, Ohio could potentially have 2 golf tournaments back-to-back weeks, big weeks, which I think Tiger will be playing in. He's not playing this weekend, which is a bummer, an absolute devastating bummer. Why would he not golf after a heater of a round with Peyton? I mean, come on, Tiger. Tiger can win every golf tournament he wants to win at this point with how he's playing. He's choosing not to. But Columbus, Ohio, will have 2 golf tournaments back-to-back. Do you call it a tournament or a tournament?
Tournament.
Okay, so
Add that
still
into the
torn on this
negotiation.
entire thing.
Do you like? It's an East Coast thing. I feel like to say tournament.
I always said tournament growing up, and then when I got out here, I got bullied so bad for saying it. I changed to tournament, and it still sounds weird every time it comes out of my mouth. But 2 tournaments, back-to-back week in Columbus, Ohio, then potentially also being one of the hub cities for the NHL. Columbus, Ohio could be the epicenter of sports coming out of this quarantine. That's got to feel pretty good knowing that we got a house out there.
Yeah, and it definitely drives the price up too for that house. I'm glad you mentioned that to me. So that it's going to go up. I got to rethink my numbers.
No, I was talking about us covering these things, but if you would like to not be there, I mean, that's okay with us.
During the golf tournaments, I'm going to be gone.
How about this? We'll buy you a couple books too, so you can put more books on that
Yeah,
bookshelf, so you can really be a more astute scholar.
You won't, but even if I was in town, we wouldn't get to hang out because you're going to be so focused on golf. Like you said, we wouldn't even be able to have a conversation probably.
Hey, the gall on this guy
It's weird that none of those books have words.
to try and gouge us during a pandemic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A first-round draft pick too. Was he
Yeah.
5th pick overall?
Yeah.
You're trying to get
How many million? 70 million.
You're trying to get
guaranteed?
6 people to
King of
move out of a
Columbus.
house that we built.
$100 million guaranteed. He got as coming out of college.
Give or take.
That was a lot of money.
Here we are.
And this is why it happens, because he's trying to gouge us on some more money for his house that he already has. Unbelievable.
How's have we got our yacht set up for Super Bowl next year?
Yacht Week has been a conversation that has been on hold, but we'll get right back into it.
I did find a website.
We did. We found an actual yacht in Tampa that rents out.
We're actually looking into train week, AJ.
Yeah.
Oh,
How do you
AJ.
feel about trains?
Dude.
Wait, for the Super Bowl?
No.
Think
Lifestyle. As a lifestyle.
You're gonna live on a train?
Well,
Luxury.
You see, I don't know how much time we have, but
Where does this train take us?
okay.
Everywhere.
Anywhere.
So,
Kind of.
Everywhere.
Pick a
Coast
place.
to coast, baby.
goes very slow. So Blackout Tuesday was a moment of inflection for everybody, kind of learn a little bit more. Maybe if you're ignorant to something, how do you learn about it a little bit more? How can we help potentially? And the idea we landed on was, so there's only 80 train owners in the history of this country. Yep. 80. So what we thought we could do is become the 81st train owners. And through this process, we learned that there's a guy named Patrick Henry who owns a lot of trains. The Amtrak really has the entire business in a monopoly. But what we thought we could do, buy a couple of our own train cars. Okay, everybody gets their own train car. Mm-hmm. It's your room. We'll buy a train car that is a studio, and we'll go town to town, and we'll introduce these tiny towns that have never met maybe somebody from somewhere else. We'll do interviews, we'll do town halls, and we'll live in this train for a couple months while we bounce around on the back of Amtrak trains, which is the only way you can travel at this point, because you can't just go your own destination, because Amtrak owns the tracks and the trains that you'll have to get pulled upon. And this was a real idea that happened. We had a sponsor already happen.
Yeah.
We already talked to Patrick Henry on numerous occasions. We were going to buy trains. We are going to set up the Connecting America tour via the Silver Bullet train, brought to you by Coors Light. This was what we did on Blackout Tuesday, and we thought that was how we could connect America again to learn about each other and go on the other side. Turns out the logistics of owning a train, quite a kick in the dick if you really look into it.
Yeah, Patrick Henry has not gotten back to me, so he may have kicked the can last week, but I think there is a chance that he gives me his trains.
Very old community in the train community. If Patrick Henry did die, we would then be the 80th train owner alive.
Bingo.
Which is something to think about. But yeah, we're talking, this conversation started early in the day. Other conversation.
Okay, I hate to cut you off, but doesn't seem very efficient. Multiple months on a train. You're not going to make it, first off. We know that.
Trains are big, bro. They have this dome. Hey,
That's not gonna make it.
yeah.
You
They
haven't
have
seen
coach-
the luxury cars.
They have coach cars. They
you
have
better-
business cars. They have dome cars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Get in the
You're
dome
gonna first
car.
off, in your train, in your personal room, you're going to need a box fan and a window to ventilate. We know that. I don't think vitamins are
dome.
allowed.
No.
Yeah, open the dome.
the dome. There's a dome top.
Okay. Well, let me just throw this one out there then.
Sloppy.
Since it seems like it's difficult and you haven't really gotten through to the guy who's dead who owns all the trains. How about you rent a couple tour buses and you drive around and you can actually get to places?
Can't walk on tour buses. When tour buses are moving, it actually stinks, because when they're shut, you have no room. Your legs are literally on top of each other. Look at the train car, how much space it has while you're traveling across these tiny little towns in America, where you have to stop at 15 of them to get to one town that's probably 2 hours away. You have a chance to move and live. That's what I would like to do. I'd like to move and live. The buses, they just don't have enough room to do anything. You're stuck in the back, so you might as well just put yourself in a jail cell and move it down the road.
Traffic. Don't have to deal with traffic on the train
No
tracks.
traffic on the train track.
No.
You also have only certain areas you can get to that have train tracks.
Good news. That's the only places we need to go.
Yep, big cities.
Only places we need to go.
Have you studied anything on where these train tracks lead and
Yep.
where you?
Oh yeah,
100%.
from Indianapolis to Orlando, for instance.
That's a short ride. Yeah.
47.
Well,
That would take
actually,
37 hours.
37-hour trip. But think about what we could do in that 37 hours.
That's 37 hours straight, though, right?
Yeah.
They're not
Yes.
counting. stops.
Now, well,
Yeah.
First, you take a stop in
head over to Maryland.
Stop in Shelbyville, Indiana. Then you take a stop in Dublin, Ohio. Then you take a stop in Maryland. Then you take a stop in Virginia. Then North Carolina. Then South Carolina. Then Georgia. Then top Florida. You really got to work that's the issue with the trains.
Top Florida.
Not very efficient in how you get to places.
What's top Florida?
Huh?
What is top Florida?
Jacksonville, you get it. The top area.
The northern part of Florida.
The top area of Florida.
Panhandle.
You get it, and then to work all the way down, you understand. Orlando, middle of the pack there, but you still have to work your way down there. And then if we want to get to Orlando to, let's say maybe New Orleans or something. Oh, you're going up to Alabama. You're going through Tennessee. You're coming back down. Maybe you're in the river there for the Mississippi River for a couple minutes. It is not as efficient as one would think on the train. That's an A to B operation. Literally, they go straight a fuck ahead. But to get to the places you need to get to, boy, you got to go straight in one direction a lot of different times. Yeah. So it's not efficient. That's what we learned.
Well, it's good. You guys are always spitballing ideas. Yeah. You got to go through 1,000 bad ones to find the good one, right?
Well, that was a great one, too, though.
That's a great idea. Not a single person in this office thinks it was a bad idea. If it wasn't for the trains, the way they are operated, like if we could get our own choo-choo and just hire somebody to be our engineer and everything like that, and we didn't have to attach it to the back of other trains that are already moving, if we could do that and also create our own tracks that just go straight to where we need to go, we'd be able to do this thing no problem. Relatively cheap, by the way, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Amtrak.
Owning trains, relatively cheap, but boy, Amtrak, they got you in...
they got a monopoly going.
Nothing you can do.
They're trying to shut down the private train travel.
It's unbelievable.
Trains are coming back. I hear they're making a big comeback.
Choo-choo.
We heard that, too. So we're going to be the leading... We're going to corner the market on private train travel.
Yeah, so you get it, AJ.
You never know. It might happen.
I don't like the condescending attitude. Right?
At all.
This is hours of brainstorming.
First off, my condescending attitude is not condescending. I just did it. I just, you got to spitball ideas. I'm just trying to pick it apart a little bit to make it as good as it possibly can be.
We already picked it apart enough.
Get a big yacht and start up in like New England and just trickle all the way down to the southern tip of Florida, or bottom Florida as you would call it, and then maybe just continue around, maybe go out in the Mediterranean somehow and just go around, and that's how you could spread the good word.
But we're talking about the pieces of America who maybe have never met somebody who's not from their part of town, middle of America.
So we'll do the rivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's so many dead bodies in those rivers.
Start in Pittsburgh. There's 3 rivers. Take your choice.
What are you worried? The dead body's going to float up and hurt your prop? Hit the prop and you're going to be out of luck?
Dude. I got a boat in Pittsburgh.
Anacondas.
I got a boat in Pittsburgh one time that had a casino in it, and they told us, by no accounts, do not jump in the water. A body was dragged out of here the other day.
Yeah. There were rats the size of your head floating around the dock.
Probably the drunks have been a long time.
I'd rather run into a dead body in a river than an alligator.
Very true.
Well, then you wanted us to go down in Florida anyways. You were looking for us to die.
No, on the yacht. You don't have to jump off. I'm down in Florida. If there's a fear of sharks right there, I'm not jumping off the yacht.
Listen, Yacht Week is happening at the Super Bowl. Train months seems like it's probably a long shot at this point.
Months, plural.
Months, yeah. Because only can make it 3 stops if you don't spend at least a quarter of the year in there. You know what I mean, it's a real problem. We had Ariel Helwani on the show earlier today talking about Conor McGregor's retirement. He said he hates that Conor and his team use the R word, retirement. He said it's more so the fact that he doesn't appreciate the fact that they can't find him a fight. Conor McGregor has offered up to fight, I guess, on numerous different occasions against numerous different people, and the UFC said no, no, no. So although the narrative might be, and it seems like a lot of people think this, like, oh, Conor won't fight anybody, Conor won't do this. It's actually the complete opposite. Conor McGregor and his team are at the point where they're like, hey, we're trying to do everything right here. This guy who didn't have much money got dropped into this world where he has hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. He's made some bad decisions, but he's in great shape now. He's trying to give back to his community. He's trying to be a fighter, and UFC won't give him a fight. You pair that alongside Jorge Masvidal, who has a problem with what's going on in UFC right now, and John Jones. It feels like the UFC might be in a little bit of a public problem here if they don't get a hold of this whole thing.
Well, yeah, 3 of their biggest stars are having issues right now, and it's with their contract. And Conor's a weird one because this is his 3rd time retiring, so it's obviously it's part of the negotiation situation with he and Dana. But if I'm Dana White, I would want Conor to fight 7 times a year. Like, I'm giving him as many fights as possibly as you ever can because this guy draws bigger numbers than anyone ever has in the UFC. So I think they'll find a way. I think he fighting Jorge Masvidal would be awesome. That should absolutely happen. Maybe you could knock those 2 guys, keep them happy if you schedule a fight between them 2. John Jones, you just got to pay him more money if you want to get him back in the cage, I guess.
Biggest draw in UFC history, Conor McGregor, they can't find him a fight. The biggest star in UFC history, they can't find him a fight.
What's the holdup, though? They definitely can't. What the money is a holdup for on whose end?
I think it's the UFC's plan, right? And I might be wrong here. I'm only talking from what I read between the lines of what Ariel said to us earlier today. It feels like they want him to have certain fights, right? Like these 2 will fight each other. Winner fights Conor McGregor. Conor's like, no, let us fight, and then the winner can take on that person as well. He wanted to fight 3 times this year. So I think it's a conflict of strategy by the UFC and Conor's team, where the UFC might not want him to lose, by the way. UFC might not want Conor to lose again. I don't know if that's the case. But Jorge Masvidal has come out and said that Dana will not put me in the ring with Conor. He knows that's a bad decision. Jorge has said that, right? And then I don't know if that's Jorge trying to get that Conor McGregor fight or that's a real thing by people who understand fighting. Like, would Jorge just beat the shit out of Conor? I have no idea. I don't know fighting good enough, but that feels like a fight that I would buy. If Jorge Masvidal, the baddest motherfucker champion, was taking on Mr. Two Belts, double champ, Conor McGregor, that's a fight I would buy, and I would assume that's a fight that I don't know if Conor's people have said let's do it, but I'm assuming Jorge's people have said it, and I don't know why the UFC wouldn't want it to happen, aside from the fact that they maybe don't want Conor to lose. Other than that, I don't know why you would keep holding him back, especially if he's your biggest draw.
Well, couldn't Dana just be waiting, be like, hey, man, like, Conor, I get it. I need you to fight. I want you to fight, but I need fans there if you're going to fight. I don't want to waste you when I'm not going to get this huge in-person draw. All the gate. Like, I know the gate is big for the UFC, especially when Conor fights. It's going to sell out instantly. And Conor versus Masvidal would be unbelievable. Have you ever watched Masvidal's backyard fighting videos back in the day when he used to fight with guys like Kimbo?
Oh, yeah. Back in the day, watching Kimbo fight was one of the highlights of after school. When you'd get on the internet, dial-up internet, and you'd see the Kimbo beat the shit out of somebody else. And then that backyard fighting league thing they had going on. Jorge's just a badass. And I told Ben Askren, I told him he was going to lose by the way that he lost. I interviewed Ben Askren, and I told him, Ben, I don't know much about the sport, but if you're a wrestling guy, are you ever scared of a flying knee? My exact question, by the way, with the Ben Askren was that. And he said something along the lines of, yeah, that's always a fear or whatever. His next fight, Jorge Masvidal runs a knee through his face and kills him in 5 seconds or whatever like that. Ben Askren, great interview, good conversation. I tried to tell him a little heads up just as an announcement. Now, granted, I did guess the end of Avengers Infinity Game and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so I have this, I can kind of see things from an outside perspective and figure it out pretty quickly. But Jorge Masvidal is just he's awesome. Like, I think they should be taking advantage of him a lot more. He talks good shit. I think he believes it. He gave an interview, I think it was with Rich Eisen or somebody else, where I think Conor McGregor was mentioned. And he talked about how when he's watching somebody fight, all he sees is numbers, basically, and holes and things of that nature. Like, listening to him talk about his strategy and his planning for fighting, I like Jorge Masvidal a lot. If Jorge and Conor McGregor were to fight, that would be awesome. But you're right. It probably revolves around tickets and things of that nature, even though I think UFC is better without fans as a TV spectator. I think it's the sound effects. I like them a lot better. I like the TV quality of it. But if you're selling out 13,000, 14,000 seat arenas, I mean, that's a lot of money to miss out.
And part of it was for Masvidal, what Hawani said earlier was that Masvidal fights at 170 and Conor's best at 155, so they'd have to figure out a way to do that.
It would have to be a catch weight. Mm-hmm. Okay, it would have to be a catch weight. I'll catch you in the middle there, I believe.
And I believe Conor said he wants to fight Gaethje, but Gaethje, they want Gaethje to fight Khabib first, and then Conor to fight the winner of that. Blah blah blah, blah.
Gaethje's-
Conor still needs his trilogy fight with Nate Diaz. Like we always thought that may be his last fight before he truly retires. He's got to get. That's a huge money fight out there for him whenever he wants it.
You see the shoulders. I'm rolling those shoulders. That post that Conor McGregor put out about whenever he did that leprechaun thing with before the Floyd Mayweather fight, he had that public workout, and everybody was like, Floyd Mayweather's hitting the back, and Conor McGregor's doing this. This is why Conor McGregor's going to get his ass kicked. Turned out the reason why Conor McGregor lost is because 15 rounds of something is a fucking long time, and he lasted a lot longer than anybody thought. But then he commented about how there was 1,000 memes or something about this. Fast forward now, I'm a billionaire, and these same shoulders knocked a guy's eye socket in 2 pieces. That's just. You think I get AJ? You and me tangle up, and I get you with one of those. What do you think that jaw's going to do?
I mean, I think you may catch me with one if we locked up and we were grappling. You would definitely try to throw that shoulder at me.
I want to let you know that I use my front shoulder to deflect your jabs and such.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I roll it.
What about a left hook I'm throwing at you? How are you going to deflect that one?
Bingo. Don't worry about it.
Blocked.
Okay.
He's gonna parry it.
What about you know what I might try? I might try to attack the body if I'm fighting.
Oh, head body.
Got a lot of padding here, pal. A lot of padding. You're coming.
I'm not going after your legs. No leg kicks on you because you could absorb those all day.
Yeah, well, my shin actually rather soft. I ran into something the other day. I learned how soft my shins are. A bunch of soft asses. These shins. It took me to my knees. Shin off table. Ooh. Down the whole time. Oh boy. Thought I broke it in two. Just can't do it. AJ, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I've had the runs for the last 3 days. It's kind of getting me right now.
You try? Is this like your summer diet?
Well, I have been dieting. Thanks for mentioning that. I just learned that I ate an entire thing of pineapples on Friday. Pineapples, I guess, just make you shit in your pants.
So good, though.
So good.
Delicious.
So I've been eating so healthy. Fruits, veggies, and then I get, I think, a food bacteria in my stomach that just makes me shit. I mean, it's like the world is punishing me for actually eating healthy for the first time in my life, and none of it makes any sense to me.
Well, if you're eating a bunch of fruit, I mean, that's like little kids. You give a little kid some apple juice and it's not watered down, he's going to dump his pants for 12 straight hours.
I followed up after my first round of Dumpy McGrumperson morning with an entire thing of applesauce because I was told that the applesauce helps out the whole thing.
Oh, no.
Who let you in
My
on that?
fiance and I did some research on the internet. Bananas and applesauce is what I was told is supposed to help. And then I drank an entire thing of Pepto-Bismol. Great taste, by the way.
Oh yeah, bubble gum.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Do you like it though? Do you feel lighter?
I woke up this morning with a 4-pack.
That boy.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Let's see it. Show the people.
Nah, it's not there anymore. I've drank 7 things of liquid death. I've had
morning
some
body,
tea.
H. What are you talking
I'll take a picture the next time it happens, though.
Is that a thing, Diggs? Morning body?
Yeah.
Oh, your morning body's the best because gravity hasn't had a chance to say fuck you yet.
You haven't put anything in there for 8-9 hours.
Yeah, and gravity's pulling you. You're at your freshest. You're at your best. You look in the mirror in the morning. You're like, okay,
Two different people.
You're
look
taller
at
in the
me.
morning.
Then you go to work. You come home at night. It's like, is gravity that strong? Is my gut just getting sucked down the entire time? You probably have never had to deal with this because of your incredible fitness ability. But
I never really thought about that, like the morning body thing. I guess I don't wake up and look at myself though either.
I judge myself.
if I were you, I would, by the way. If I was AJ Hawk, I would try to look at myself as much as possible. Just something to think about.
Nah.
Do you have mirrors in your house?
Yeah, we got mirrors. I mean, I just keep it moving. Like if you get up and go whatever you're doing, I don't just stand there and pause and just stare at the mirror.
See, I wake up every morning, look in the mirror, fat shame myself. It motivates myself for the day.
See, I wake up every morning.
Does it put you on a good path, or does it put you in the dumps? Because some people can do that and they already have like a negative mindset because of it, and it really derails their whole day.
Diggs has a negative mindset, I believe, if I had to guess. Just from knowing Diggs, I would assume that it doesn't send him on a good journey throughout his day. I would assume that
What do you mean he's got his best bod ever right now, right? The wedding body.
he does look very good, especially in the mornings. He looks even better. I mean, there's no reason for him to be as mean
Just
to
get
himself.
married, Diggs. I think you should get married at 7:30 a.m.
That'd be ideal. Honestly, that'd be ideal.
shirtless or with a Zeke. Cut your suit off into the Zeke deal
He's
with
a
your
bit
stomach
hairy.
out.
Probably gonna do that. Well, I got the lawnmower too.
Oh, Pat, good news. I know you have no idea. I got an invitation to your wedding.
Hey!
Yeah, you're getting married.
Believe it or not, yours was on the top of the pile because the A for AJ Hawk.
You guys do alphabetical from the first name, not the last name?
I did. By the way, although I did have a lot to do with it, obviously. Did you open that? It's a very beautiful invitation.
awesome. Very nice.
I doubt you've seen it, but your invitation's legit. Like, you can tell, like, this is a big money dude getting married.
I have seen it. Thank you very much. And I have said, yeah, that's great to everything that went out there.
You got like the seal, like the Pope who used his ring to seal in the wax.
That was
You got
very
the
hard to
seal on
open.
there.
It was very hard to open.
Well, you got to get your
Where'd you
finger
get all those
underneath.
stamps from?
By the way, that's the old school way. All those stamps. That's the old school. So there's 6 stamps
Oh, I
on
didn't
there.
know
each
that.
way.
I
Yeah,
saw
there's
that.
there's a lot of things on there that you guys just
I felt
don't
like a
even.
detective opening up a manila folder for an old cold case file, going through everything.
Yeah, there's a lot to do there. You obviously got the rehearsal the night before, the luau.
Yep.
Well, I looked at mine.
luau.
I really thought I was like, all right, Pat handpicked this part of the invitation.
Thank you, Foxy.
This part of the invitation. I thought you did really good.
Thank you, Foxy. I did do great. And there was maybe a part in there I did do that, but it was a lot of Sam's work.
They are beautiful.
This whole wedding planning thing has been a nightmare for her, if I had to guess. But it's going to work out just as good as the invitation. And you were invited. See?
Yeah, take that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What was that? Last week he was being dramatic about it?
Yeah.
You're being a bit dramatic last week.
Old
Okay, you might not
dramatic
look in the
AJ.
mirror in the morning, but if you were, you'd look at a dramatic man about wedding invitations in the morning.
So am I supposed to send a gift if I don't come?
Bingo. That's the show. Need a gift. Need a gift.
You said to cut it off because you're going to dump your pants.
I do have to dump my pants. And also, I have you on record saying you'll give us a gift.
McAfee and Hawk. McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk. AJ used to tackle quarterbacks, and he's a Rust Belt kind of guy. That's the punter of the decade for the 2010s, kicking Pierce missiles to the sky. It's McAfee and Hawk. It's McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk. It's McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk.